What's up everybody, Danny's here and we are back at it again with another video. But before we get into it, make sure you guys check out all the links in the description below. So, everyone knows that there are a lot of Nintendo Switch accessories that they have released, and a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 accessories Nintendo has released. But however, when there's lots of Nintendo Switch accessories that have failed, it upsets a lot of people. As they felt those today, I think the one that has failed the most was sometimes Nintendo Labo, or even let me think in my head, also Starlink Battle for Atlas and Ring Fit Adventure. When they originally made one accessory for the Nintendo Switch, it would be Nintendo Labo, but I'm not sure if Nintendo Labo will be on the Nintendo Switch 2, as I was gonna say. But definitely, I would be able to say that Nintendo Labo was one of the best Nintendo Switch accessories, but unfortunately, it had failed completely. And that's why Nintendo stopped making Nintendo Labo. But also, Nintendo has also made lots of accessories like Starlink Battle for Atlas and Ring Fit Adventure, but I wish we can get a new Star Fox game. That's the thing though, definitely. So, as I was gonna say, I think Nintendo should definitely add in let me try to think in my head. They have Ring Fit Adventure for the Nintendo Switch, which was released 6 years ago, and I think Nintendo should definitely do a Ring Fit Adventure Nintendo Switch 2 edition, or maybe Ring Fit Adventure 2 on the Nintendo Switch 2, which would be able to make a lot of sense though, definitely. Now, as I was saying, Nintendo would be able to work on newer accessories that they may add in, because they've added in the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, which was made for game chat. That's what I was gonna say, made for game chat, actually. And also the Virtual Boy accessory, which is used for Virtual Boy Nintendo Classics for the Nintendo Switch and for the Nintendo Switch 2, which goes right here where you see your eyes, virtual reality. Kind of like that though. I'm not a fan of VR, by the way. I'm not a fan of VR gaming because sometimes it hurts my eyes. And if you're not a fan of virtual reality gaming, it can hurt your eyes sometimes. But somehow though, otherwise, there's a lot of games Nintendo has required an accessory, from retro gaming on the Nintendo Switch or on the Switch 2, like the NES, Super Nintendo, the N64, and the GameCube, and the Sega Genesis, that requires retro gaming controllers, like the NES controller, the Super Nintendo controller, the Nintendo 64 controller, the Sega Genesis controller, and also the GameCube controller. Now this makes a lot of sense, definitely, because there's a lot of accessories Nintendo has released. But let me know, what is your favorite Nintendo Switch accessory you have owned and you've enjoyed it? Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite Nintendo Switch accessory you have owned before? And also, what is your favorite Nintendo Switch 2 accessory as well, though, definitely. So, as I was saying, Nintendo may work on more Nintendo Switch accessories in the future update, and maybe more Nintendo Switch 2 accessories in the future update. Maybe in the future announcement that they will. Because they've announced more amiibo figures as well, though, definitely, which is kind of like a Nintendo Switch accessory, which kind of makes a lot of sense. Because amiibo was announced 11 years ago, but also Nintendo does work on video games that have motion controls, definitely, like the Joy-Con steering wheel, which was on the Nintendo Switch and on the Nintendo Switch 2. But the Ring Fit accessory would be announced for the Nintendo Switch 2, since we may be getting Ring Fit Adventure Nintendo Switch 2 edition, or maybe Ring Fit Adventure 2 for the Nintendo Switch 2. I hope we get to see that Nintendo Switch 2 accessory for Ring Fit Adventure Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That would be a really cool update that Nintendo should definitely do for Ring Fit Adventure. Honestly, this would have been such a great idea if Nintendo did a Ring Fit accessory for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the future Nintendo Direct, and they'll announce a Ring Fit Adventure 2 or possibly Ring Fit Adventure Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So, before we wrap this up, what is my favorite Nintendo Switch accessory? Well, I'm going to say the Joy-Con steering wheels because you can use it for a motion control like in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or in Mario Kart World. But definitely the one accessory I'm a huge fan of, and I haven't owned this yet, that would be the Ring Fit. It's just kind of like Ring Fit Adventure, definitely. And also, there's a lot of accessories in my mind. So, that's going to wrap it up here for today's video. Let me know what is your favorite Nintendo accessory you have owned. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you guys are new to this channel. Make sure to hit that bell notification every time you get notified when I post a video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace!